If you are a clinic owner or a health professional that had to temporarily close your doors, you're probably uncertain with what the future holds. So I'm in the exact same position as you right now. My name is Dr. Jeffrey Lee. I'm a naturopathic doctor and a registered acupuncturist. I co-own a clinic in Richmond, British Columbia, and I had to temporarily close my office due to the COVID-19 spread. Now, I'm also the owner of Heroes Business Solutions, and Heroes is an acronym for helping everyone realize opportunities. So we help health professionals such as yourselves organize, systemize, and really grow your business to help you achieve greater capacity so you can fulfill your goals and serve your community. Now, this is a time, in my opinion, that as a business owner or a health practitioner, you need to make some important decisions. So there's two things that I think are really important. One is assessing sort of the financial situation that you're in. So we call that financial management. And then the second thing is what we're calling educational marketing. And this is where it's really important that you communicate to your group. Today, what I've done is I've invited two of our strategic coaches from Heroes to join us. The first one is Andy Belanger. He has had 31 years of experience working with healthcare practitioners, and he's really helped people deal with very difficult situations, you know, from bankruptcies to just difficulties running their business. So he's a really important person to listen to in this time of crisis. I've also invited Alan Ng, and Alan's had over 20 plus years working with entrepreneurs and small businesses. Now, I've invited these two guys to join us because they've got a lot of wisdom to share with us. I'm going to have them speak for the next little while, and I hope you can, you know, get a bit of clarity in what's coming up in the next few weeks to a few months. So right now, I'm going to invite Andy to speak. So Andy, this is your turn.
Thanks, Dr. Jeff, and to all of you out there. These are just 10 simple points that we recommend in order to move forward in these particular times. We're going to please understand that this is just a moment in time. It isn't a forever thing. Step tip number one, pause, go neutral. Negative positive emotions really end up blurring reality. You got to be real realist in this time. I mean, the over positive person believes that things will happen, that it will work no matter what we do. The negative, of course, is a person that's a doom and gloom. Get out of both of those modes, go neutral. You have to do a situational analysis. You got to do an operational analysis, which means take a look at your current facility. Take a look at what you can do, you can't do. Take a look at how you can organize and separate your clients within your facilities. You got to take a look at your entire operations and see how it works and how it's the most effective components of your operations to make it work. You need to do a financial analysis. I cannot emphasize this enough to all of you. This is a financial analysis where you look at your balance sheet and your profit and loss statement and review where you are at this moment. Then you need to, with that, create a foundational personal budget. Your business is not just your business. You also take monies and funds from your business home with you. You need to have a personal budget. Before you do a business budget, always do the personal. And we'll show you an example on how can that be done using one of our Heroes tools that we've created. Create a foundational business budget. This is where you go through the different line items, extract the information from your balance sheet and your statement of profit and loss. Do a marketing analysis. I mean, Alan definitely can address this better than I can. Alan, what do you think about this particular point?
It's important to really understand your market right now and be prepared, especially for those who are closed, that you're ready when your clinic opens. And we'll talk more about that in a little while.
And Dr. Lee, regarding being a champion of health experts, the messages promoting compliance, how is it important that we all get on the same board with all the experts that are providing the advice out there?
Yeah, and I think this is really important. You really have to align with what people are the health authorities are saying you don't want to go rogue right now and promote something that's really different there. I think right now we all have to come together as a health organization, as the community, and then in due time, it's important to then really get your message out there.
You need to develop proactive and solution-focused educational tips. Proactive is the new key word. Proactive is going to be the key word moving forward for the rest of your entrepreneurial or your entrepreneurial careers. Make decisions using strategic plans, checklists, goals, and benchmarks. Again, being in neutral, you're able to put very clear mandates for next month, the month after. Create a 5-month strategic plan in order to position decisions. And finally, of course, be a hero. Help everyone realize opportunities and getting through this time. You're not alone. Share information with your colleagues. Give each other tips. This is a community approach. Success does comes with a cast of thousands, but so does getting out of this particular situation that we're in right now. So with that, we're going to start with a very key first step. It's being proactive to manage your financial statements, incorporate a personal and business budget, and I mean now. When we say now, we mean right now. Please do it today. Don't wait until another time. Don't get reactive with this. Get this proactive. So when we begin, we take a look at, we have 2 statements. One is your statement of profit and loss, which is what we're seeing right here. And it's actually broken down into different pieces. You have your sales, which is the top left. And our sales is the ability to be able to identify the potential revenue we see coming in over the next period of time. Again, break this down by the month. Don't do a 5-month projection. Do a realistic based on your own situation of what your sales are going to be. Your cost of goods sold or your direct expenditures against those. There's a detailed list on how you can organize it. Look at those costs in relationship to your sales. If you're incurring those costs and you're not generating sales from those costs, then you're going to be running into a problem. And of course, on the right-hand side is your budget. This is your budget component, your operating costs, your basically everyday situation. Take these categories when utilizing your budget. You also have to incorporate, when you do a budget, you have to incorporate is the balance sheet. When you do the balance sheet breaks down into different components. It breaks down into your current assets, fixed assets. These are the current things. And in this particular case, your current assets, cash in bank, the managing of your inventory, your receivables are absolutely vital because they're the liquidity components that allows you to pay all those bills on the statement of profit and loss. And you also got to get a current position of where your liabilities are. Your current liabilities, long-term, whatever government programs, whatever assistance that are available regarding any types of liabilities or any of your operating costs, you need to get clear on what they are because they will be also part of your foundational business budget. So your financial statements is where you're going to accrue the line items and the information. So you do this right at this moment. What's your starting point? How much we have in the bank? What are our expenses that we have due? What are our receivables that money's coming in? What's our cash flow going to look like? All of these things together become the foundation for your budgets. And as we started with, start with a proactive personal budget. This is just a tool. We call it our Victory 25 tool. And the power of budgeting, we've always stated, and everyone that we've educated on this, is that the budget gives you an initial point to start a conversation. The reason why we allocate a budget is that when we're actually spending the money in the actuals, we're managing the difference. We're seeing the difference. We're getting the stories. All your finances do talk to you when you incorporate a personal tool, when you coordinate a business marketing tool. When you do these particular things, you're going to get in critical data. So do a personal budget. Before you do the business budget, do your own personal. Go line by line by line. Be realistic with the present. There's going to have to be adjustments. You're going to have to adjust certain expenditures. You can't be under the illusion that your lifestyle can continue if your business has been disrupted. What are the different scenarios? What is a medium case take-home scenario? What is your worst case home scenario? This here is probably our most powerful tool that we incorporate within the Heroes package. What we have here is the business budget. And when we're working with a particular business budget, the starting line point here is what I'm circling right here. It's your gross profit. You begin your operating budget with this particular tool with the gross profit. And this breaks down into your revenue streams are at the top, your cost of goods sold, your primary costs against those, your sales minus your cost of goods sold gives us our gross profit. Our gross profit minus our statement of profit and loss and operating expense gives us our second line. It's our net income. Traditionally, in good times, we teach this is the taxable position of the company. In this particular case, it is the second profit line. And then from that net income, you expense money. You're paying money out. You're paying down a loan. You're paying down, you're purchasing furniture. You're purchasing machinery. You're taking out dividends or draws for yourself. That leads to the critical and important leftover budget. As I started this, you begin with the gross profit. Don't put a figure here. Don't worry about the categories that go above it. Work with the operating expense. Work with these particular expenses first and foremost. Go line by line. What is the rent going to be? If you negotiate something with your landlord, put the adjusted figure. Also note, if there's any type of the word deferral within the repayment or future payments, you're going to have to look at that later on. But for now, let's get through this time. Line by line by line. Wages. When you hit the wages, you need to do a wages analysis. Almost you can expand to another part of the spreadsheet that just deals with wages. How many people are you going to have? How many hours you're going to need them? What subsidies are going to be available from the government? Once again, step by step. When you have your figures and all the operating costs here and all of these costs, all the way down to your expenditures on the balance sheet. We're not going to be adding assets. This here is survival mode strategies. What we do is we only take a look what we really expense. And again, this is not one you do for the next 4 or 5 months. You go month by month by month. Once you have this figure identified, once you've identified your gross profit, take a look at your historical information, because what you want to do is rather than just try to figure out every single one of these, you can just utilize a ratio to be able to figure out what this figure actually is. What you do with a ratio is that you calculate the percentage of your past gross cost of goods sold are that leads to your gross profit. So if your overall cost of goods sold is 40%, we know that in this figure here, the 40% is of that figure that has to be able to cover this. By working it backwards this way, you're going to come up with a figure that you can monitor and manage. Once you have your budget done at this particular point, the next particular step, of course, is working on the actual, all of this side, all the way down. When you do with this particular side is that, and I'm suggesting you do this weekly, put your actuals beside it. At the end of this week, you got the information from your profit and loss and from your balance sheet that you've actually spent out. Because the key in all of this, in monitoring your leftovers, because if you have lines of credits or credit cards or other vehicles that you feel you need loans to be able to cover these, we want it to be realistic. Folks, in the best of times, people don't pay attention to their budgets proactively enough. These particular times, it becomes your lifeline. It is literally the thing that will make the difference. You can't avoid this. Go toe-to-toe with it, work with it. The law of neutrality in finances is more important than probably any other area right now. When you have that, you're going to see the variances. Keep your notes going. Keep track of the stories that you're having. Identify what's going on. There's no more important time than in these times to be in touch with all your finances. If you do a business budget and you work the personal budget in much the similar way, the opportunities for you being on top of what's happening, it may not change a lot, but what it's going to do is to give you that clarification that you need in order to make decisions. And decisions are going to be made. They're not always going to be pleasant, but still you have the opportunity to actually make those decisions when you do this effectively. Work with your budgets effectively. You will make a difference. This is the critical time. In the best of times, your financial communicator, which involves your financial statements analysis, your budget versus actual analysis, and your analytical data, absolutely defines how you grow your practice. But in these particular times, this particular tool, along with the personal budget tool, are your most important components of the business that must be incorporated. You need clients, but you need to manage the funds with those clients effectively. And here's our expert, Al, who will be able to give you some really solid marketing tips in these times.
Thanks, Andy, for sharing the advice about financial management, which is so important at this time. But just as important is the human equation in all of this. You know, as we shared in our Heroes marketing component, that marketing is about raising curiosity and nurturing relationships. And at this time, it is so important to work with your clients or patients and be able to keep in touch with them and be able to touch their heart. They are struggling at this time to go through this uncertainty just like yourself. And we want to emphasize how important it is to not forget the individuals that you are working with and you are in contact with each and every day. In terms of nurturing relationships, here are some of the key ways. Staying connected with your clients. Now that you are no longer in your office, how are you connected with your clients? Are you using online methods, email, phone? Are you connected with your local community? You know, those around your neighborhood, how are you serving them? Are you able to provide any services to them? And how are you connected with the extended community beyond those locally? You know, are you working with other practitioners in your area? Are you doing other things beyond what you normally do? Dr. Jeff, you know, these are so important. What are some of the ways that you are doing while your clinic is closed? How are you nurturing relationships?
Yeah, I think right now, for point number one, staying connected with clients, we are, you know, what I've done is, you know, the past 6 months, I've just gone through my client list and I know their situation. I know some people are worried about being unemployed. I know some of my older, you know, clients are really worried. So I've personalized just a bunch of emails for them just to stay connected, and I'm inviting them to join me. What our clinic is doing is, like, every single day we're doing a Facebook Live post where we're trying to give some health tips. We're just trying to, you know, connect with our audience and just give them some things to stay healthy, you know, get their immune system up. So that's been really engaging. We're really seeing our patients really join us there. With our local community, I've been, you know, reminding people a lot that it's so important to eat healthy, eat whole foods right now. And we're reaching out to our local, you know, organic farmers, and we're cross-promoting, we're just really reminding people, hey, if you're practicing social distancing, you can't go out to the grocery stores, you know, use your local community farms there. And I'm also staying in touch with a lot of my colleagues, just seeing what they're doing, seeing what ideas they're doing with their clients there. So I'm trying to, and I think this is what you guys have taught me, just being as proactive as possible, and yeah, and really learn to, you know, connect and nurture these relationships.
That's great, Jeff. And you're right. Being proactive at this time is so important, as you are having less time in the clinic. You know, you have time to think, time to look at what's going on, and then actively plan ahead, you know, week by week on what's going on. Well, we've talked about a number of things today, and wanted to ask you to take charge. You know, in this situation, we need to take a pause, to listen to what's happening out there, to learn what's going on, and in other words, maybe there's new things that you need to pick up, and then to strategize on how to move forward. And by doing that, you are being proactive. We talked about adjusting your financial strategies. Andy really spoke about the tools both for your personal finances as well as for your business. We'll be sharing that for those of you who don't have those tools. And we also talked about marketing strategies and primarily about nurturing your relationships. To not forget your clients at this time. And what's important is we are able to connect with them during these times of vulnerability. We're able to then, bring them back to our clinic when the time is right. But the key message we want to share with you is proactively plan. And we want to proactively plan for additional topics like this. So please continue to give us feedback by commenting about this video, subscribing, and most importantly, share this if this is important for other colleagues of yours, so they can be able to benefit from what we share in these videos. We want to be able to help you through these times, but also lay a good foundations to help you thrive when things come back. And so Heroes is about tackling challenges of the day, planning for the gifts of tomorrow. So be a hero, helping everyone realize opportunities. And we want to be there for you. And we look forward to working with you. And please feel free to reach out if we can help you out. Have a great one. Bye-bye. And health and success.